This property that I'm about to show you has plummeted in value from $900,000 to $175,000. That's over 80% drop. Now, why the hell did this happen? And also, what can you do to make sure it doesn't happen to you? Let's go. This home was signed off by the building surveyor with missing certificates. The homeowner then got her own defects report and it showed that it's going to cost over $800,000 to rectify it. The council then sent her a building notice to tell her to fix the items, else she has to move out with her family. The builder, Unik Constructions, then lawyered up and got his own inspector. His inspector reckons it's going to cost $7,466, including GST, to rectify it. We weren't satisfied with this, so we went to his office to ask him a couple of questions. Let's go. No one's home.
Porsche's here.
Oh yeah, he's probably in the bathroom. Hello? Hello? Hey Jess, how are you?
Good to hear. How are you?
Good, good. Nice to meet you.
Nice to meet you.
Walk me through the story.
So in 2016, we wanted the great Australian dream. We wanted to own a home. We found this off the plan. It took about 2 years for our build to be completed. We paid $650,000 for it to be built.
So when did you notice something wasn't right?
During the build process, we noticed the pillars, we noticed the brickwork, we noticed the windows, we noticed the driveway, we noticed the size of the garage, we noticed the quality of the flooring. We noticed the electricity box around the side, we noticed the back deckings, we noticed the entry points under the house, we noted the exposed plumbing with the water tanks and with the gas fittings.
You bring this to the builder and you go, hey man, are you going to fix his items? He didn't fix them or?
No. We did attempt to delay settlement with our conveyancer, and the developer was intent on charging us $1,000 a day for every day that we delayed.
So you ended up settling on the property?
Settling under duress.
Yeah. Wow. And when you moved in, when did you realise something was really wrong with your property?
The big issues that we have discovered started in October 2023.
Did you bring your issues to the builder directly? Say, hey man, look, you bit my property, this is what's going on.
We went back to the builder originally. We were given no response from the builder. We then proceeded through the DBDRV process in which the builder failed to attend. And after the DBDRV process, we did lodge with vacate. And when lodging with vacate, we also engaged the VBA to do their independent inspections as well.
Why do you want to get us involved for?
I want to know everything that's going on. I've been dealing with the VBA for 12 months now, and I'm still very much in the dark. I know that there is action being taken against the builder on my behalf for just this property, but without being made fully aware of what those charges are, I want someone to help me find everything that I'm supposed to know.
So where are you at the moment with this whole thing?
At the moment, we are nowhere. We're living in something that's worth nothing. It's affecting my health, my happiness, my livelihood. I don't even know who I am anymore, and there's no way out for us. I've been fighting this battle for 2 years. We still have to live in this property. It's not fit for habitation. I couldn't rent it. I can't sell it. We've all been incredibly sick from living here. And it's just basically been a mental black hole for me for the last 2 years. The major house issues that we are dealing with, the non-compliant plumbing, the land levels, the mould, the kitchen damage, the cracked slab, the sinking foundations, the exploding windows, the cut trusses, the lack of insulation, the rats, the uneven bench tops, the lack of dishwasher, broken tiles, mouldy waterproofing. It's just an absolute clusterfuck. That is the only way I can describe it. Come in and have a look.
All right, let's go. I'm in the hallway now and I can really see all this bubbling going on. Like I can see it from right here. Have a look at this. I'm assuming that you noticed all this?
Yeah.
Did you spill water here or what's going on? Or was it your...
I can show you what happened there. What happened when everything started to go really, really wrong?
Yeah.
I was doing the dishes and I stood on the tile and it cracked and water came up.
Oh, I can see, look, it's cracked already, yeah. Can you
Yeah.
step on it again? Look, it's
Yeah.
moving actually, yeah.
So I put some paper towel down and I called to my husband. I asked if he had perhaps spilt any water and he said he hadn't. I thought, oh, that's interesting. We had a notification from our strata saying that someone had a leak. Can we please check our water bills? I assumed this was it. So they sent out an emergency plumber and what we found was rats have been chewing this pipe.
My goodness, maybe it's the food inside. Like, yummy, peanut butter.
There are unsealed entry points under our kitchen. It's allowed rodents to come up.
So every time a dishwasher's been going on, it's been leaking water.
It's been leaking wastewater out under the floorboards, which has caused the bubbling. That's
Yeah.
mould. Our kitchen was supposed to be an open kitchen. We elected to seal it off. So that sink was supposed to be in the middle of the island bench, and they never updated the plans. All the plumbing for the sink is located under the island bench.
All right, cool. And basically they failed to seal all the penetrations and you got all these rodents coming in.
Yeah.
The rats started eating away here. Water started seeping under the floor without you realising. And then what happened after that?
The water has actually gone under the waterproofing sheeting, which has caused the waterproofing to bubble. It's popped all the grout and it's cracking the tiles and it's working its way back across all of the tiles. And this is all one sheet of waterproofing.
Yeah.
So to replace this, we need to replace everything. With that being known, we did have under the house inspected, and that was when we found that all of the insulation underfloor had fallen out into the soil. It was a wall insulation which had made it a very lovely, warm home for rats. We had a disconnected pipe, which was putting water under the house, foodstuffs. So they had a great little environment to come up through the penetrations. And that's when they have been making everything worse through the kitchen. They've eaten through all the cabinetry, all the drawers, through all the cupboards. We can't stop them. This is the reason that we can't insure our property. One of the main reasons.
Yeah.
We put in a claim to our insurance to help us rectify this, in which we were quoted $89,000 to repair the damage to the kitchen.
So basically new kitchen,
Yeah.
new flooring, new tiling, 89,000. You're telling me about some pipes that have been disconnected, yeah? Which is basically a plumbing issue. And then you've just got certificates from these plumbers saying, hey man, yeah, our work complies. But how can they comply when you've got things that are not even connected?
With one of the plumbers that we've been dealing with, he said that a lot of his work was damaged and it must have been replaced by others, and he's trying to...
But you're the first homeowner.
Yeah.
So you didn't get any plumbers to do any work here, any renos or whatever?
No.
So he's blaming someone else. Hey man, someone's touched my work.
During the build process, he believes someone else has touched his work.
But you gave a certificate. How can you give a certificate for your work at a later date? You shouldn't have even issued it.
Exactly. So the mould readings, we were originally told they were 160,000, but they were actually misread off the report. They were 1.6 million, when an extreme reading is anything over 75,000. There was discussions when we had the mould assessment done that we may need to leave everything here, including clothing, which would mean sourcing children's school uniforms, pyjamas, soft toys, all those sorts of things to actually replace it, to make them feel like they haven't been punished for something. But you feel like an awful parent every day. This is our fault, and they're the ones that really are going to suffer. Sorry.
That's all right. I can see all the paperwork here. What's going on?
So these are all the reports, all the documentation, and everything that I have been acquiring.
Check this out. So the VBA did an inspection, you got your own inspection already done, and this thing's been going on for ages.
I've got VBA reports coming out of the wazoo, a building defect notice from the council.
From the council? Wow, what did the council do?
So the council have come out and done an inspection and advised that the property is not safe to be living in, and they want us to do some rectification work prior to the 5th of July that we have. So that's up in 2 weeks.
But how did they know that your home is defective?
I asked the council to come out and investigate.
Now, why did you go to the council, not to the building surveyor, off this home?
The building surveyor was never going to assist. I've had multiple conversations with him, and all I get is rebuffed that he is innocent, he had no idea, everything here is obviously safe and compliant, and I just don't believe what anyone is telling me anymore.
Under the Building Act, the building surveyor has to accept the certificates in good faith. Even though I can see it's not compliant, I don't care, man. I've got a certificate and I'm immune to it.
My building surveyor did not have all certificates. I got my last 2 compliance certificates last month.
You're telling me that there were certificates missing. That means that occupancy permit should not have been issued.
So the date the work was completed is after the certificate of occupancy was issued.
Wow, okay. Has been issued in April 2025. How did I issue it? Did you even ask him? Say, hey man, why'd you issue the certificate of occupancy? You made me settle on a non-compliant home. Man, surveyor's gonna cop it.
Yeah. So this is the garage which cracked. They then came back and cut the slab 2 months after we took ownership.
Oh yeah, look at that. Cracks everywhere. This does feel a bit small for a double garage.
It is undersized.
5.48.
5.48, and the minimum is 5.5 internal. So we normally have to park 1 car on the front lawn so that we can get both cars out where we need to go. God, I feel so stupid talking about all of this. I feel like I've been talking about it for years.
When was the moment that you realised that the builder was not going to get back to you anymore?
Ever? About a month after we settled.
I can feel that I'm walking around the home is at a level. Is this something that you picked on as well?
Yeah.
It feels like I'm falling back here. I feel like I'm walking and about to slip in. Here, minus 30. I wonder if this was pre-existing, because if there was a subsidence over time, I'll be able to see a gap or like some cracking, but I can't see any crack in here. Even upstairs, when I did measure the area, in the exact same spot here, it's also down around 14, 15 mil.
When we had the plumbers under the property, they noticed that there are cut trusses here, 2 cut trusses to replace plumbing work, and that all of the plumbing is not strapped.
And that's why it's caused a bit of sagging here, yeah?
Yeah.
Which pipe are we talking anyway?
So that is for the bathroom and toilet, which come through the entire midsection of the house.
Yeah, that's why there's a bit of sag going on here.
Structural integrity has been taken out of the trusses.
Yeah, because there was a lot of water here as well, I reckon that would have increased, the chances of the footings being softened underneath. The footings are sitting on the clay, and when it gets wet, it softens the clay, and then you start getting subsidence over time. I reckon that might have helped the sagging in this area.
There's also no airflow or ventilation under the property.
Sorry, but I did see some vents outside. Did you see them?
They're all completely blocked.
Okay, yeah, see, that should have been checked by the RBS as well.
Yes.
So, do you reckon your house is sinking? Did anybody tell you that?
I believe the house is sinking.
Yeah.
I believe if we were to dry out the foundations thoroughly, that the house would rip itself apart.
What do you mean you believe the house is sinking?
Only through walking around the house, you feel the difference. You roll a golf ball around and it comes back to you.
I actually got some ball bearings here. Yeah.
That's fine.
Let's have a look. All right. That's crazy. I knew it. It's the way they're going so quickly. It's a big deviation.
They build speed.
You've got roof tiles, which is a heavy load, 60 kilos a square meter. You've got a massive heavy load on your home, and to have something like this, the structural integrity of your home is compromised. I reckon the building surveyor didn't even go under here.
No, the building surveyor never attended. We've never been able to have anyone under the house because the gap has always been expressed as too tight.
Well, I've lost like 5 kilos lately. I'll probably try to squeeze in.
I think it's still going to make you feel a little bit bad.
Really?
I'm not sure I'm gonna fit there, man. I did lose a lot of weight. Let's go. Oh my God. Let's go, boys. Oh my goodness, what's going on here, man? Have a look, guys. I'm not sure I'm gonna fit there, man. I did lose a lot of weight. Let's go. Oh my God. Let's go, boys. Oh my goodness, what's going on here, man? Have a look, guys. Oh my God. Check out the flies, guys. Have a look at the flies here. Do you reckon it's safe to get in there? Oh my God, look, there's some mushrooms. Oh yes, yummy. Should I taste it? Let's have a look, guys. Oh no, it's poisonous. Oh my God, poisonous. Oh my God, there's mud everywhere. All right guys, you can see how tight it is. Have a look. I'm gonna try to squeeze in between the ductwork here, and I really want to get in there. I want to have a look where that truss has been cut. I'm not sure where it is, but let's have a look, man. Oh my God, I'm gonna move this, man. So you can see how the rats probably were climbing from here, going all the way up and trying to make their way in the kitchen. There's flies everywhere. Take a look at the state of the subfloor. Obviously all the insulation has been removed. And you can see the ventilation points there, how they're blocked. There's actually a brick there that's blocking the ventilation, which is non-compliant. Oh, there they are. I can see where the truss is. It's right over there. And this is now getting really muddy, guys. Have a look. So any water that goes in the subfloor is gonna just sit there. But those trusses, the floor trusses are from one end to the other. So they span from one end to the other. There's nothing in the middle to support them. So basically, if there is gonna be subsidence, it will be from where the footings are installed. So all this is suspended. Now let's go all the way there and see what else we can find, guys. So guys, there's a lot of mold here in the floor, big flies, and I can see where the floor trusses, have a look, have been cut right there. This is basically a structural defect. I'm right underneath the section where the floor trusses have been cut. Very concerning. Plumbers, if you're watching, please don't do this. This is bad. There's actually mold. That looks like mold to me.
So there's 3 units here, guys, on this whole block. We're investigating this front unit right here. Brick veneer to the lower floor, EPS cladding to the upper floor, and then we've got roof tiles as the roof cladding. The whole home is sitting on stumps and footings. You can see that the work looks good from far, but we're gonna see if it's far from good. So let's get going.
Now, this right here is ventilation for the subfloor, and have a look how it is all blocked. I'm not sure how this got signed off.
Let's check this one.
This one's also blocked. Wow, look, it's blocked with mortar.
All right, now I'm on the lower roof. A couple of things already that I didn't see on the report. There's those spreaders, you can see. One spreader here, getting water from a higher catchment area and discharging it into this box gutter here. But the way it's discharging is not compliant. It's not, the end is not half capped. So water can eventually be directed this way. It's not discharging in the direction of flow. And then the other thing you have here is that it's not sealed. The screws are not class 3 screws. They're already rusting. And we've got this box gutter, a free-flowing box gutter discharging into this rain head. The rain head is not compliant. It's the overflow weir is not 25 mil below the sole of the box gutter, and the box gutter is not sealed to the rain head. Have a look, they've just siliconed it. Then, if we take a look at this lower roof, there's a couple of things that's wrong with it. First thing is this spreader. It's getting water from a higher catchment area, discharging it onto a flashing, which is a breach of HB 39. The direction of flow is not compliant, and it is also not sealed. Second thing we have is this overhang of roof sheets onto the box gutter. It has to overhang 50 mil. It's overhanging here. Let's take a measure. Around 150 mil. So you can see that it's very hard for me to get my hand inside here and clean it. The next thing that's wrong with this roof is the discharge of the box cutter into the rain head. The overflow is not 25 mil below the sole of the box cutter. The box cutter is not sealed to the rain head. Have a look. And we have the capping does not grade a minimum of 3 degrees. The flashings are also not fixed. So we can already see that there's a couple of items that were missed on the expert's report. So I'm going to tell the homeowner about that later on. All right, so I'm on the upper floor at the moment. I did a quick level survey of the floor, and for some reason in the center, it's subsiding around 16 mil. It's negative 16 mil, guys, have a look. And that carries on all the way downstairs. So when I measured downstairs, it was also negative 15, negative 16. So show me in this area in the center somewhere that there's a bit of subsidence going on. Let's see how we go. But have a look at the level here. You can see also on the spirit level, it's minus 10 mil. Down this way, it's going down. Unbelievable. Let's give it a try and see in other locations. Minus 16 here as well. Let's check out on this side what happens. Minus 22 mil on this side. Oh my goodness, take a look, guys. That is crazy. When I was walking here, I could feel something's going on. I was gonna trip, mate. Oh, that's why I got my floor leveling device. I wanted to see what was going on, but you can see here, look, it's minus 4. So minus 4 here, minus 21, 20 mil there, minus 16, 0. So there's a bit of subsidence going on in here, all around this side here. Now, if we check out the bathrooms, they've got shower bases installed, which is pretty good. But what's not compliant about this area here is that the water stop to the door openings are all non-compliant. They're not connected to the perimeter flashing. All of them are non-compliant. So basically the whole floor needs to come out everywhere. If we go to the ensuite area, the same thing as well. The ensuite here, this water stop also does not return to the perimeter flashing. Non-compliant. They've got shower bases here as well. That's one of the only reasons they haven't got any leaks yet. Now, I really want to get into the manhole because this is the area where it showed a bit of subsidence right there. So I want to go inside, even though it's so tight. I want to take off my vest, try to squeeze in and have a look if there's anything compromised in this area. So let's take a look, guys. See, I told you guys, when I say it's tight, it's pretty tight. Have a look. All right, so I'm going to take off my vest and get in. Let's see how we go. All right, so first thing I can see is that the extraction fan right there is not even connected to external wear. And also it's in the way of insulation. Have a look. Wow. Let's see if I can get in there and discover this beautiful work, guys. Oh. Let's go. I haven't even been inside yet, and I can see the bracing right here, the strap bracing, is not folded over and nailed. It has to have 3 nails. So there's nothing here, and no evidence of previous penetrations. There you go, guys. So that's our first non-compliant item here that we've got. Let's keep going. You can see how it's all blocked. I can't even get through, guys. Really hard access, really tight, but I can see that the bracing over there, there's a bit of sagging going on. Not sure if you guys can see it. Right there. There might be a bit of movement there. Not 100% sure yet, but you can see I can't even get access over there, guys. It is so tight. Hey Grant, how are you?
Lovely to meet you.
Yeah. So you actually valued this place around 3 times. Why is that?
Yeah, absolutely. Initially, it was just an appraisal at the start, and you know the market was starting to improve. The owners had just purchased; they purchased for $650. We came in and valued it about $830. Second time round, owners were a little bit concerned with the home, but wasn't well aware of how bad the home was, and that increase with the 20% rise pre that COVID period ended up putting that value up around $900,000. The owners then made me aware of major defects through some building reports that she's done. That there is some defects to the property, and then how would I value it? We had to strip back build costs versus what she's paid for it and what the repairs were going to be. And seeing the documentation that Jess has obviously provided, there was in excess of $800,000 in rectifying this issue. Now you weigh up the costs and say, well, I paid $650. Is it going to cost me $800? Maybe. However, if we look at it now and today, and based on the material facts disclosures, is that anything with a major defect that an agent's aware of, that an owner's aware of, they're to disclose that to a buyer and to anyone renting that particular property. Ultimately, what that means is, what is this property worth to someone wanting to take on major defects? And then you weigh it up, you go, okay, well, $650,000 purchase, $800,000 in cost, well, maybe it's only worth land value. Then we look at $1,000 a square metre, is it worth then $275,000? Then you add in the deconstruction of this, of pulling this down and starting fresh from base up, there's no money. It's worth nothing. So you may get 170 grand for this particular property after you've pulled it down, rectified any issues and start again.
From 900,000 to 175 is just crazy.
Yeah, it's mind boggling, but how do you value it now? Is it a pull down? Can it be rectified? We don't know. The owners don't know. They've tried to seek as much information as possible. Hence, you're out here as well.
How often have you inspected properties like this where it had to go back to land value?
We get an odd one, not very often, because a lot of the time we're not aware of the extent of the issues, and a lot of people hide that from agents. Every authority we sign up, an owner gets sent a material facts form. They're to disclose any major defects, any renovations or updates that they've done to the property. They're to disclose any information that's going to be warranted from a buyer receiving. And the one thing that we've got with this particular property, the owner is well aware of major structural defects in the property. I'm now well aware, which means that any buyer wanting to purchase this property or any renter wanting to rent this property, they must know about it before signing a purchase on it or a lease.
So basically, people should not be honest to sell their homes.
It's a scary thing.
Yeah, if you're honest, you're going to get punished for it. It's crazy.
Yeah, which is crazy. But that's the way the system's set up. The system is set up to punish honesty. What do I think is going to happen to this property? I think there's either going to be a lot of money spent and this owner's going to come out with a massive loss, or it's going to be too much for them and they're just going to let it go for a low price for someone else to take on the problems. And it's quite scary. I feel sorry for our owners inside. I really do.
Everywhere I was looking at was not compliant. You've got the waterproofing's not compliant, the roofing's not done as per the Australian standards, and you just got the certificate to say it is compliant, but it's not. You've got all the ventilation around the building line is all blocked. The subfloor has got a lot of issues as well. There's a lot of indications of mold there. Water ponding in a couple of spots. There's flies everywhere. Insulation missing. The ductwork's been laid all over the place. Some cut trusses right there where the floor was bowing down. You've got the waterproofing throughout all the wet areas is not compliant as well. You got to rip out all the floor tiles and do it again. And has anybody been in the roof? No one's been in the roof, yeah? No. So, it's all non-compliant as well. Inside the roof cavity, extraction fans are blocked with the insulation. It's not even extracting to external air. The brace is not compliant. You've got the framing items, you've got structural items, you've got the waterproofing items.
What are the recommendations for fixing it? That's what I need to know. Everything
here is fixable, yeah? But if you do touch the builder's work now, that new practitioner has to take liability. Because it's still within a 10-year period, this guy has to come back and rectify the items, yeah? If you do touch his work, he'll be like, sweet, you touched my work, sorry, out of warranty. I would have fixed it for cheaper or whatever. This guy, the inspector that came from the builder saying 7,000, did he inspect the right property or did he go down the road? Probably a kebab shop somewhere. To do the bathrooms, it's like probably 20 grand each, So did you end up getting any quotes from anybody? A tradie, handyman, a builder, to fix some of the issues?
I've spoken to 14 builders. Only 4 of them were brave enough to attend to inspect. After inspecting the damage and the reach of the damage, that they weren't willing to take on the liability on their insurance and would only recommend for a knockdown rebuild. One said that they would be willing to attempt repair works, bringing it back to frame stage, but that would only depend on the integrity of the frame.
How much was that?
For it to be taken back to frame stage, it was 640,000 less GST.
And you bought the house for?
650,000.
So the place is 7 years old now, yeah? Yeah, 7 years old, and you have to knock down your home, basically.
Yep. My house is 7 years old, and when the plans were put into the council, this development was supposed to last 50 years, and I don't see it lasting 10.
Let's zoom out a little and take a closer look at this schmozzle. We found some court cases for Unik Constructions. The latest is very interesting. This one is still running till this very day, and it's serious enough that vacate personally joined the director, Pratheepan Saravanapavan, as a named respondent alongside the company. Not just Unik Constructions, him directly. The owners say they were tricked into signing a variation for $110,000, claiming it was for extra work they requested, plus a month's delay. But they say that the work was already included in the specifications, meaning it wasn't a valid variation and they shouldn't have been charged. On top of that, the builder sent invoices for stages before those stages were even finished. What does that remind you of? A breach of the Contracts Act 1995. Not only that, that could breach Section 18 of the Australian Consumer Law, which states a person must not engage in conduct that's misleading or deceptive. And under Section 236, if someone suffers loss from that kind of conduct, they can be personally sued for damages, not just the company, but the people behind it as well. Now, according to the homeowners, they paid over $661,000, but the builder was only entitled to $108,750. That's an alleged overpayment of over $552,000. They say that money was paid by mistake, and now they want it back. Now, if you guys want the full case, I'm gonna leave a link in the description for you guys to have a read of. Now, did I mention that according to a credit report, he owes the Australian Tax Office over $300,000, and he also owes other companies some money. Now, are you guys ready for this one? Now, as we were looking into Unik Constructions court cases, we found that the law firm that was representing them was no other than the same law firm that handled some of the other builders you've probably seen on this channel. Diamond Builders, Saud Constructions, that name's starting to pop up in a lot of these cases. I wonder why. And they use the same expert. Now for Jessica, the VBA acknowledged the seriousness of the issues raised against her builder, Unik Construction. The letter sent to the homeowner, Jessica, clearly states the following. The investigation unit has recommended that the file be referred to the Legal Services Unit for further consideration. Now, this implies that the VBA has enough evidence of wrongdoing to escalate the matter. A referral to the Legal Services Unit is one step away from potential disciplinary action, or so you'd think. But now let's contrast this with the Martins case. Remember the video, the #1 case in the Weir report, the case of transformation? A project that was literally used by the VBA to highlight transformation to the Building and Plumbing Commission. Here's what the VBA told them, word for word. The VBA does not have a statutory duty to take particular investigation or enforcement action under the Building Act in response to complaints. We do not carry out business for the purpose of the Australian Consumer Law and Fair Trading Act, nor do we act in trade or commerce. Now, are they saying that they don't owe you anything? Not enforcement, not compensation? not even a proper duty to act when dodgy work is reported. They regulate the industry, but don't feel legally bound to protect the most affected by it. But the thing is, they still charge you for it. According to their 2023-2024 annual report, the VBA brought in $107 million. They spent around $96.9 million. That's a surplus of over $10 million. But here's the thing, when homeowners complain about dodgy building work, the VBA says they have no duty to act. They even claim the Australian consumer law doesn't apply to them because they're not in trade or commerce. So the question is, if they're pulling in over $100 million a year, why do so many homeowners feel abandoned? Now, we're not saying that they're doing the wrong thing. We're just asking, where's the accountability? So the council wants you to do something about this issue here. What are you going to do about it? You've got like, what, a month to do it?
There's nothing we can do about it. We have no ability to finance the repairs on our own, and the work that they're requesting is too great.
So they want you to do what the builder should have done. Yeah, and
Correct.
The thing is, what happens if you fail to do the rectification works by the due date?
I would be looking at abandoning my home.
Do you regret telling the council about your problems?
I do regret telling the council about my problems. I also don't. Because if they're going to remove me from this property, at least me and my family can go and be safe somewhere. We would be in the car, but at least the car is safe. It may not be warm, but you do what you do to get through.
So who do you think now is at fault here? You've got the building surveyor who issued an occupancy permit without having the required documents. You went to the regulator, said, hey man, look, we've got a problem here. 12 months down the track, they're still investigating and who knows how long it's going to take. You went to the council, hey man, I've got a problem here. How are you going to help me? Oh, you got to get out of the house now. Like, where do you get help from? And now you're going to be kicked out. You paid money, over $600,000 for this home. And now they're like, you got voted $170,000 and everybody wants you out while everybody's doing their own thing. Where does it leave a homeowner like you who did the right thing? You've been honest, transparent. You told the real estate agent about the defects. You told the council, hey man, I'm doing the right thing here. I've got a problem. This is not compliant. And then now they're like, all right, get out of your house. Or else we're going to prosecute you. we're going to fine you. It's just mind-boggling how a homeowner like you now is in the dark.
It is absolutely mind-boggling. And where do you find the money to even start? There's no assistance, there's no care, there's no compassion, there's no consideration. And when you think about all the actions and in the investigations from everyone behind the scenes, the amount of information being shared with me is nothing. It's borderline emotional abuse. You sit here day in and day out waiting for a crumb of information that something is going to be put right. Someone is going to help you. There is no shining beacons coming that are going to save us here. It's us. We're going to have to really dig in and find some sort of talisman that's actually going to help us put this right.
You wanted to buy off the plan, brand new, 10 years warranty. You've got protection. That's what you thought, yeah? I mean, when you bought it, is that one of the reasons, or?
That was exactly what we thought. We thought, yes, we have insurance. We had our building insurance, we had our contents insurance, we had our title insurance, we had the 10-year structural build, we had the 7-year new build warranty. We had all of these protections before us that have all just been stripped back layer by layer, one at a time. And now we are left with nothing. We trusted the industry, we trusted the builder, we trusted the developer, we trusted the real estate, we trusted the building surveyor, we trusted the workmen that they had employed, and we have been let down at every turn. I don't think anyone has any real idea about how complicated this system is and how skewed it is against you. You're made to believe that you have all of these safety nets that will catch you if you fall, and you just slip through every crack and no one cares. We just want what was promised. We want the house that we bought.
Yeah.
I know that there's no help coming from the VBA. There's no financial help
But did you
coming.
think you were going to get anything from them? At least
No.
all they're doing is going to try to get the builder, and that's all they can do.
All they can do is get their little comeuppance from him. Any fines that he pays won't be shown to any of his victims at all. It just goes into their insurance scheme to then fund the next wave of failed builds.
This letter was sent to Gerald and Andrea regarding the VBA's involvement with their case. Was sent recently to them. What do you think?
Well, I believe it's the same that I've been told. There's no compensation coming for us. There's no sorry that we let you down. There's no sorry it's taken us 12 months to investigate this, or that we've let it sit here for nearly 8 years now. There's no ownership of fault. And if it's not the VBA's fault who accept all of the fees from all of these people, then whose fault is it?
What advice would you give anybody that's about to invest in a property or buy a new home?
Trust your gut. You know what's good and what's not. If you have any off feelings about a seller, about an agent, about the way a bathroom looks, just don't. It's not worth the headache. Once you sign that dotted line, that's your cross to bear, that's your life.
You tried to do the right thing and it backfired on you. So what is the government trying to tell us? Hey, be dodgy and just flog your home away and just move on, than to be transparent and tell the public, hey, this home is stuffed, you got to be careful. They don't want you to do that, because look what's happening to you guys now, which is just mind-boggling.
I would never buy a home again. I don't want to own a home anymore. I have more rights as a renter. I wouldn't have to have sat here for 2 years in a mould-infested, structurally unsound home while everyone else continues their investigations. I would have been out, I would have been somewhere else, it would have been off my plate and I would have been happy. But I'm here fighting for my life.
This part of the home looks like it's the most compliant. What's going on here? What's up with all these puzzles?
So I am a competitive speed jigsaw puzzler.
Yeah.
And I represent Australia and travel all over the world.
Did you do all of them, or?
I've done most of them.
Oh, really?
There are a lot of people that will borrow jigsaw puzzles from me for speed puzzling practice. I am a world-class problem solver and I still can't sort this shit out.
Same.